Back in my first presidential campaign back in 1988, then governor of Massachusetts Michael Dukakis spent these final days saying this of then Vice President George H.W. Bush: "We're rocking and rolling, he's slipping and sliding." Well, the crowds loved it. Dukakis went on to lose 40 states. My point? Beware last week declarations from both campaigns like this.
Michigan is up for grabs. We like what we hear on the ground there. We like the trend lines there, and in states like New Mexico, Wisconsin, certainly Pennsylvania has always been on our list, Colorado, these states that have been blue for a while, these states that President Obama carried twice.
If you believe that, then Donald Trump is competitive in New Mexico, in Colorado, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, maybe more blue states. Is he? We don't have evidence of that at the moment. But why is the Trump campaign talking like that? Why are the Trump children and Mike Pence going back to Michigan this week? Because even if Donald Trump is perfect, let me show you something, even if he wins all 6 toss-up states on our map, it still leaves him short, 264. That's when these states come important. He could get the rest by winning one of them. And if he can't win all these states out west, he might need a big one. So they will keep saying they're in play. They will keep hoping the polls move. In the meantime, as Donald Trump campaigns, again, has to win all the toss-ups or most of them, then has to turn one of these big blues to red. Donald Trump is hoping the email investigation pushes him to the finish line.
Thank you, Uma. Thank you, Uma. Do you think right now that Hillary Clinton is happy with the services of Uma? I don't think so. I don't think she likes Uma. And I never thought we'd be saying thank you to Anthony Weiner. Never. Thank you, Anthony. I never liked you, Anthony. I never liked you, but thank you very much.
1 week from today, we count the votes, and hopefully maybe for the last time speak the words Anthony Weiner. I would be more than happy and comfortable with that. Let's go back to the stuff that matters. Kellyanne Conway, again, this is not to make fun of her or criticize her. It's her job. In the last week of a campaign, you want to mobilize your supporters. You want to get people excited. You want people to send more money because the Trump campaign doesn't have anywhere near as much money as Hillary Clinton. But when she says New Mexico, Colorado, Michigan, Wisconsin, as we talked about earlier, they're really searching for one or two. They're trying to see some fallout. So let's do this from the other perspective then. If you're Clinton and you suddenly realize the rooks and the knights are getting blown off the board and you're in a very close game of chess, Tim Kaine, for example, calls North Carolina one of the checkmate states. Yeah. If she can win North Carolina, period. Demographically, better for her than some of the others, right? Better than Ohio and maybe even better than Florida?
Yeah, he said Ohio's a checkmate state too, but with what's happened in the last few days and the suppressed turnout, especially of African Americans in Ohio, partly because of a shorter early voting period, I would think they want to spend more time in North Carolina this week shoring things up there than they do in Ohio. She's going to Arizona. God bless those Democrats out there who continue to think that it could happen. We'll see. But talk of Georgia, talk of getting close in Texas and places like that, at this point, probably unlikely.
Arizona was scheduled before the FBI announcement. They still think, look, let's be fair, John McCain has told friends he thinks she has a chance in Arizona. We'll see if it's still the case now, but they also were not going to pull that one off the schedule because we would have taken it as a sign of panic had they done that.
Yeah, but African-American voters who were really important for her in the primary in terms of locking things down against Bernie Sanders mathematically months before, he sort of gave up the ghost, are going to, again, be really important when you're looking at her trying to hold or flip these states, right? North Carolina, Florida, 2 of the key states to watch. And that's why President Obama is out 6 days out of 7 this week. And that's why he's so important in this effort, because he can still energize African American
and to any place where African American turnout is down a little bit, they want to make up the math with college educated white women who were Romney voters last time. Let me ask this scenario, Jonathan, then jump in. So suppose Donald Trump actually has a good week. Suppose Donald Trump has momentum. Suppose Donald Trump can get Florida, North Carolina, and Ohio. Could we be on election night looking at Utah? Evan McMullin is the never-Trump candidate. You're laughing. Evan McMullin is the never-Trump conservative candidate. Mitt Romney spends a lot of time in Utah these days. He thinks Evan McMullin has a chance to win. There's a controversy today because there's a robocall to conservatives in Utah from a white nationalist who says he's a Trump supporter, saying this.
Hello, my name is William Johnson. I'm a farmer and a white nationalist. I make this call against Evan McMullin and in support of Donald Trump. Evan supports the Supreme Court ruling legalizing gay marriage. Evan is over 40 years old and is not married and doesn't even have a girlfriend. I believe Evan is a closet homosexual. Don't vote for Evan McMullin. Vote for Donald Trump.
To its credit, I want to get this in before we talk. To its credit, the Trump campaign very quickly denounced that racist jerk, and that's what he is, and he's a homophobic jerk as well. We strongly condemn this rhetoric and those activities of which we have no knowledge. So I don't want to link this one to the Trump campaign, but it does tell you something about the prospects of Evan McMullin in Utah, and perhaps Utah blocking a Donald Trump comeback.